Hi Leah. I have my little notebook, but I did the Capricorn reading, then I did the Cancer reading, and I didn't look at the astrology. So I wanted to do the same thing with you. Okay, so once you decide that you want to participate in life again, or you want to participate in romance again, or you're just ready to get back into it, that doesn't mean that we go from ambivalence, which has a pejorative connotation, to chasing. We don't do that. We find a beautiful, graceful middle ground, and that middle ground here is and always will be the Empress card. Not the Empress card. The High Priestess card. Empress vibes. Empress vibes. Empress vibes. You are right in your fire and zeal to want to get back into life. You are not wrong, but if you chase right now, you will expose yourself in a way that is not good for you, that is not beneficial to your reputation or to those who would be mutually attracted to you. Now that you are ready to get back into things, perhaps with your whole heart, some of you may have jumped in months ago, those of you who are a bit more impulsive or had a more trusting situation, but those of you who have been very hesitant, with whether or not this is a safe space, you're ready to come back out. And so the cards are saying that it's really important to temper yourself so as not to over reveal, especially parts of you that you have healed and perhaps are very vulnerable, and of course you would like to talk about them and you would like to share that, but we just don't want to say too much, and we don't want to give anyone any playbooks with which to play us. Let's say it that way. There are some big truths also that you really want to tell, perhaps in a work situation. I have a tendency to think that this is more of an emotional thing though, but it could be emotional at work, something that's really getting on your nerves, or someone who's really getting on your nerves. And you want to really tell them, just you're ready to engage with life again, and you're, rushing it. You're rushing it because you are a beautiful, enthusiastic person, and when you feel like getting back into the game, you really feel like getting back into the game. Didn't realize that was there. I'm sitting on a sofa cushion. So, you're back in the game. Slow down, say the cards. Slow down, slow down. We want to maintain a certain level of propriety and decorum. And we want to, now that we've decided that we're going to engage again, we want to follow some rules that perhaps have changed because we've been out of the game for a minute. Also that. So as to avoid any missteps that could make our glorious debut not so glorious. Oh, but anyway, who cares? Because look at the bottom of the deck. You are welcomed back into the game called love and life and romance. You are welcomed into this world. this world that's been waiting for you to heal and to feel better and to get back to it and to start adding to the love again, to the conversation again, to the beauty again, perhaps if you've been hiding yourself away. You know, it's time, and the world, the universe wants to encourage you and wants to celebrate you and wants to show you that it's safe out here. And so it showers you with gifts and opportunities and warm, loving feelings of being surrounded and supported and welcomed and offered beautiful things like love and abundance. It's very easy to meet people. It's very easy to meet collaborators or lovers or friends. It's easy to be captivating and beautiful. It's effortless for you. You just know what to wear and how to be. You're shining again, and when you shine, you can't see anything else. You're blinded. Oh, you love it.
Hi, Leo. Welcome to the night of the eclipse. Every Leo friend that I have, that I am close to, has texted or called me today, or texted and then when I didn't respond, called me anyway. And they've all had the same sentiment in mind. Where are you? What are you doing? I need to speak to you. I need an update. You've been a little too quiet and a little too industrious. What's going on, Gemini? Now, the cool thing about that is that when your own fears start to show, when you feel even a little bit shaky, your heart is so big that your first instinct is to reach out to the people you love and make sure they're okay. And I think the logic goes something like this. If the vibes are making me shaky, and I'm pretty steady, not scared of much, then how scared must the people around me be? Especially those who are a bit more flighty, not quite as fixed. You don't get enough points for your hardiness. As I've mentioned in previous videos, it is a fact that actual lions heal very quickly, to the point where it's, like Wolverine-esque. They can have deep, deep gash wounds. 3 days later, nothing. Sure, you have this reputation for being finicky, delicate, having a taste for finer things, but it's often overlooked that you're quite hardy when it comes to your physicality. You're strong people. Even if you have a delicate frame, you still have quite some weight to you. And I think that has more to do with your convictions and your courage than it does anything about you physically. What's the way to get over your fears? Well, the High Priestess says, first of all, the High Priestess and the Moon, right? Now, this is obviously about the eclipse. First of all, don't react. Whatever comes up tonight, tomorrow, these are your fears. They're being put in front of you. Here they are. Acknowledge that moon doesn't have to bear down on you. It can also be sitting at your feet if you decide that that throne is something you're comfortable with. See, once you take that seat of power, the High Priestess, moving back beyond the duality of things, what does that mean? That means that you understand that no matter how great or how bad something seems, you have cultivated a sense of equanimity. It's all okay. Once you reach that removed perspective, you gain a very quiet, subtle power, and it permeates everything around you. Everything begins to bend to your wants. Why? Because you're completely free of judgment. You're very much so in your own lane, minding your own business, which I guess is just another way of saying without any judgment. Okay? And how focused are you if you're not reacting to things all the time? This is the key to you being able to see your fears come up and not have them affect you in a way where it causes you to behave badly or to make one of those fears come true. Now, another thing that will help is to use your voice. Judgment. There are certain areas where you want answers and you need more information, and you kind of have to put some people up against the wall verbally and demand it, and you should. For those of you where this is a financial thing, absolutely. The Wheel of Fortune says your voice is the key to it. Start talking. Those of you who happen to be more creatively inclined, if you've been thinking about starting a podcast, this would be a great time. Especially if you're more kind of socially minded, you know, justice and fairness and all that. I think this Mars energy here with the Emperor is about you actually putting your foot down on the gas. You've been playing with various ideas for a while now. 3-4 years at least. For some of you, way more, but 3-4 years at least. But you just haven't brought yourself to really commit to anything, to put your foot down on the gas. And Mars is really going to push you. There's some interesting conjunctions that are going to push you. And you finally end up deciding, like, okay, this is the thing. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's scary to me too. So, what will help mitigate that fear? Consistency, discipline. I'm extremely commitment phobic. I don't, The idea of committing to one thing and going all in, it disturbs me. And I do have a Vedic Leo moon. And in your Vedic astrology, the moon is much more important actually than the sun. It defines a lot more of your personality. So I get it. I get the fear. I get and I also get the fun of being really coy with several different options, whether it's work or your future or a person or a relationship, whatever it is, I get it. It's really fun out here to be moving like that. But December is asking for commitments and answers and signed contracts. And it's just like, wow, I don't want to do all that. But you do want to do it. So do I. We want to do it, but we don't want to do it. So how do you navigate? Discipline. It's the key. Get back into a routine. Whatever it is that you find yourself committing to, whether it's a new job or you're finally going to quit and start that business, or you're going to commit to this person, or you're finally going to leave that person, or you're going to whatever, take that loan out, whatever you're going to do, the commitment aspect involved with it that causes the terror can be mitigated by simple discipline. Set up different routines around the things that make you anxious and afraid. One of the things seems very obvious, so forgive me for noting it, but it's simple and so profound, is to work on your body. The stronger you feel in your body, the stronger you will feel in your mind, and able to keep your commitments, and able to feel strong enough and have self-esteem high enough to fulfill your commitments. Another thing might not be a very practical suggestion right now because of the way things are, but traveling alone, going places alone, builds self-esteem. Every time, no matter how low you feel, no matter how disconnected you feel from yourself and how unable to raise your self-esteem you may think, right? How unable you may feel to raise yourself, it doesn't matter. If you go and do things alone, regardless if you're miserable the whole time, what you're showing yourself, what you're showing the you behind the you that's observing all of this, but you're showing that person, you as this avatar walking around, what you're saying is, I went out there and I did something and I made it. I did it and I did it on my own. So regardless of how you feel about you, regardless of how I feel about me, I was able to go and do this thing, which is indicative of my capability. And self-esteem is nothing but a measure of your capability, how capable you feel of handling the world. That feeling of capability is then directly correlated with your level of anxiety. If you feel that you are incapable of handling the things that life throws at us, then you will have enormous amounts of anxiety around that. Around what? Around the now, around the happening that is right now. But then you have all these mystics and all these, religions telling you have to be in the now. But how can you be in the now if the now causes extreme anxiety? Because if you can't handle what can happen moment to moment because you don't feel strong enough, or maybe because someone raised you to not feel strong enough, or maybe because some terrible relationship taught you not to be strong enough, or someone got it in your head somehow, some group of douchebag kids when you were a kid, whatever it was, excuse me, that got it into your head that you couldn't handle life moment by moment, life was too scary moment by moment for you to be able to handle it. Now the now is associated with extreme anxiety. It's a trigger. Often you will find that when people feel like this, they love watching the same show over and over again, because it's a way to be in the moment, but not really be in the moment because they know exactly what's going to happen next. So they can be in the moment, they're existing, but their mind is being occupied by something they've seen a million times and they know exactly how it's going to go, and it soothes that anxiety. Okay? So, when you think about fulfilling your commitments, part of the reason that it gives us such fear, part of the reason that we can be so cagey about it, is because there is something, some doubt there as to our capability. Now, I can give you, again, my own example. Like I said, I'm extremely commitment phobic. And for me, it's that constant question, will I be able, and it's not a low self-esteem in terms of like moving in the world and being in the now, but emotionally, will I be able to provide whatever it is that this person needs emotionally? Will it be enough, or will they want too much, or will it take too much away from all the other places where I have to pour my energy into? You see what I'm saying? So anywhere where you're phobic, it's because you're afraid that you somehow won't be able to fulfill that responsibility. And being disciplined is going to help you commit to begin with and then stay committed, right? That's the key. Just like not reacting is a key, commitment, the key there is discipline. Then you have that Justice card there. I don't know if you've ever noticed this about Libras, but Libras are extremely disciplined about certain things. Their lives may seem like a dramatic hot mess at times, but notice how they're dressed. Notice the texture of their hair. Notice how soft their skin is. Notice how clean their cars are. No, they have this underlying skeleton of structure that leads to soft skin and clean, pretty surroundings and very smooth hairstyles, right? Or very kempt kind of looks, kempt aesthetics, very put together. This is all discipline. And this eclipse is going to belabor this point, just like I just did. Woohoo! Now, because what the eclipse season wants from you is movement and change, and because what you're working out of is the Four of Cups. See, when you're afraid of commitment, you don't realize it. When you can't be in the now, where are you going to be? If you can't be in the now because it's too scary, where are you going to end up? In the nowhere. Not in the now, okay, because you choose not to be. Not in the past because it doesn't exist. Not in the future because you're not superluminal and you can't get there. Where are you at then? Nowhere. That's what the Four of Cups is. Nowhere. So, the eclipse season wants movement and change. Well, of course it does. Better than nowhere. You know what that is, Four of Cups? That's Matrix 2. Where he's in that train station. He keeps running down the tunnel. He keeps coming back to the same train station. He can't get out. Nowhere. In between time. Right? Hiding. So the eclipse brings you back out. Okay, Leo. You're getting dragged out by the neck. Come on. You see how the mom cats will grab their kids by the neck? By like that patch on their neck, carry them around in their teeth and they don't get hurt? That's you right now. The universe is like, all right, come on. It's time to come back out. And you're not the happiest about it. I get it. But the world is waiting. And the Ace of Cups is waiting. And money and secure, stable relationships and love is waiting. You know. You can keep being stubborn. But no matter how much you want to kind of dig your nails in, you're getting dragged out into the world again. Where people can offer you these cups. You don't have much of a say about it anymore. You've been hiding for quite some time. You've gotten out of it here and there. You know, you've been very wily. But the eclipse season has got you. And it's not letting you go. And by the time you get to the end of December, what you're left with is a feeling of foolishness for being as mad as you've been at the past, the universe, whatever was lacking, whatever was missing, whatever. You walk out of December just not feeling that way anymore. Something is healed, something is forgiven, perhaps on both sides. And you know, that's really where you get your lifeblood. That's where your energy is restored. When people's hearts are healed and when people are able to come together and really speak from their hearts and communicate that energy. So to have that kind of exchange with not a person but with the universe, that's really profound. So the end of December when Jupiter goes direct is really important for you. So I would just say until then, you know, like we discussed, don't react. Put some really firm routines in place, put some boundaries in place. Wherever you need answers, go get them. Stay out of this dead zone as much as you can. And work on that self-esteem. And work on it now, because at the end of the month, you know, you're getting dragged out into the light, like I said. Get it together. I love you. The Extended is on Vimeo. It's also an instant PayPal link. And the first part of this video has been on Patreon for like 10 days. Everything's on Patreon as well, under the Leo tier or the Leo plus the Za tier. I love you, love you. I'll see you in the Extended right now.